Hello, ThatWeeklyGamer here, and today I'm doing the 10th episode of ThatWeeklyIndieGame. Wasn't suggesting anything by anyone because I wanted to do something special, and the next couple of episodes are going to be a bit special because just recently there was released on the Steam Marketplace The Basement Collection. The guy who basically made Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac, he's called Edmund Mcmillan, and he's a really successful indie game developer. And this Basement Collection is sort of the games he did before he became big, and there was just recently a documentary called the Indie Game Movie, which I highly suggest going and watching. It's very inspirational, and he featured in it a lot because his game Super Meat Boy, it followed the process of making it, as well as it followed the process of Fairs and Braid. And Edmund Mcmillan is a guy who made Super Meat Boy, and this is some of his earlier works. One of his first major games was called Meat Boy, which is a prequel to Super Meat Boy. It was a little flash game on Newsgrounds, and of course Edmund Mcmillan is the designer and artist. He usually gets other programmers and sound designists. But yeah, it's an extremely hard platformer. It's very addictive. I get very annoyed with stuff which I find hard, and this is impossible. Basically, left and right to move, space to jump, longer you hold space, the longer you jump for, and most levels the ground moves upwards. If you fall below the bottom of a screen, you die. So it is very interesting. Also, there's things like spikes and fire in later games. These are just the tutorial levels because they're the only levels I could do. And the story, no one knew this at the time, but when Super Meat Boy came out, Meat Boy is a guy who was born without skin, and his girlfriend gets kidnapped by a fetus in a jar. And this is Edmund Mcmillan's style, pretty much. Very strange. He can do a lot of stuff and just get away with it. But yeah, his girlfriend's bandages, and so what he meant by that, he does jump into this in the movie, is Meat Boy cannot live without bandages, like, because he has no skin and bandages can replace the skin. Oh, and I'm sorry for this bit, I get very stuck and then very annoyed, which usually makes you a lot worse at the game. But yeah, and in Super Meat Boy, which was an extremely successful arcade game, it was the most successful at the time when it came out. It sold over 1 million copies to date, and it was 800 Microsoft points. But yeah, he said he did a lot, he got away with a lot, like he did references to Street Fighter and a lot, and it got a very good Metacritic score. This got a very good score on Newsgrounds. It was the #1 game for a while on Newsgrounds. So yeah, I thought I'd do this as a 10th episode because I thought if any indie game developer deserves to be special, well, it's sort of like, if there's any indie game developer I would feature, it would be Edmund Mcmillan. I probably called him Edward earlier. I've got this thing where I do. Sorry about that. But so the next couple of episodes of That Weekly Indie Game will be me playing through the Basement Collection. This is the first game in the Basement Collection. You have to complete some games to unlock new games in the Basement Collection. Thank God Super Meat Boy isn't one of them. Otherwise, I'd just commit suicide now. And the next game I'll be playing is Coil, so there's no need to suggest for a while. I may throw in some other games because there is like 13 games on here, or I may skip some out which I feel aren't that great because most of these were just flash games. Also, all you have to do, back to the actual game, there's like, all you have to do is do 3 out of every set of 5 levels to unlock the next 5. So you can skip a lot of them, and you do need to. This is one of the most annoying ones. Basically, the platforms break when you stand on them, as you can see, and so you've got to do this perfect. And I know of a AceGamesTV director, I cannot remember his name. I will put a link in the description to his video, but he played Super Meat Boy and did something called a steel run, I think it is, where basically you have to do like this set of levels, like chapters are split into 15, but in Super Meat Boy I think it's like 20. He does them all in a row without dying. Like, he doesn't die once in 20 levels, which is immense. So I will link that in the description. Oh yeah, and the Basement Collection has got Steam achievements. It's on Steam. It's relatively cheap. I can't remember the exact price, but I am really rushed for time at the minute because I've just started my A-levels and I'm getting like essays and shit, and it's really annoying me. But I would suggest picking up the Basement Collection. I would even go to suggest Super Meat Boy if you're not me, because I just cannot do platformers whatsoever and I get very annoyed easily. But Super Meat Boy was a very highly recommended game, and any games by Edmund Mcmillan I would suggest getting, because it really puts himself into the games. His games are so characteristic and stylistic, and it is just amazing. I do skip to the second chapter because in the chapters like the locations change and stuff, but skipping it made me I think I missed something, but salt kills you. So thank you for watching. You can suggest stuff. If I get a really good suggestion, I'll probably pop it in. And so yeah, comment, like, all the stuff you know how to do. Subscribe to AceGamesTV. Check out my channel. I've got Saints Row the 3rd Let's Play running, and also I'm running for King of the Web at the minute. Don't know if you don't know what it is. Basically, people vote for you. I'm running for Gaming King. So if you want to go vote for me, there'll be a link in the description below. But apart from that, thank you for watching, and I shall see you later. I'll just let the gameplay keep running. It'll probably end in a minute. So yes, thank you for watching, and goodbye.